Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of Fan Art Friday. This week I'm working on a drawing of Noctis from Final Fantasy XV, and I've actually really been looking forward to working on this one. I haven't played much of the recent games, but I've been watching some of the gameplay from this one that they've been posting recently, and it is looking awesome. I have extremely fond memories of playing through Final Fantasy VII, 8 and 9 with my cousin, back when we were much younger, and we would spend all day playing through them, thinking about the strategy and the tactics. We were playing those games on the PlayStation 1, and it was always such a great feeling when the game would prompt you to insert the next disc. It was like the PlayStation 1's version of the achievement notifications. And those moments of playing through those games are honestly some of my favourite gaming memories that I have, and so seeing Final Fantasy XV being released very soon, I wanted to make sure I worked on this, and seeing all your suggestions for this, I was really looking forward to working on this one. I also wanted to mention that in this video I'm trying out a new drawing board, and this was sent to me by a really lovely UK-based company called Sketchmate. They reached out to me recently showing a bunch of support, and I told them that I was happy to support them as well. This isn't sponsored in any way, that I just purely wanted to give them a shout out. I really love the drawing board. It's really clever because you don't have to put any tape down. The board actually works with negative and positive charge, so all you have to do is rub the paper on the board and it sticks to it automatically. It's really clever, and it's helped me out a lot this week. It's been really fun and interesting to try, and I found that the drawing surface is extremely smooth and it works brilliantly both with pencils and with markers. I tried a bunch of different setups, even equipment and different papers. I found that the thicker paper worked much better. I usually use smooth Bristol board, which is 200 GSM, and that worked incredibly well with this. So I've left a link in the description box below for you to check them out and see what their drawing boards are all about. In terms of the drawing, for the initial sketch I started off by using my mechanical pencil, and then for the outlines I used a Copic Drawing Pen F01. This has a fountain pen nib, and I've just recently started using it and I'm having a bunch of fun with it. And then for some of the finer outlines that I needed around his hair, I used another new pen that I recently picked up called a Copic Multiliner SP, and I got it in a 0.03mm, so it's extremely fine, but it worked really well for the hair. Moving on from that, it was time to work on the colouring, and for the colouring of this drawing I used Copic Markers, starting off by working on the skin tones. I used my usual method by starting off with the pinkish white and pale heath to get the first layer of colouring down, and then I added the darker shading with pale grape and light grape, also using a cool grey 5 to add some darker shading underneath where the hair was lying over the face. I also used a few different Prismacolor pencils to add some extra skin tones around his eyes, nose and mouth, those being light peach, peach and blush pink. I found that especially the blush pink really helped to add a warmer tone around the eyes. For the colour of Noctis's eyes I used a mixture of ice blue, holiday blue and sky blue, along with some Prismacolor pencils, those being light cerulean blue, true blue and ultramarine. For the colouring of his lips I used a mixture of blush and pale heath, and then just to add a little bit of darker colouring I used the rose red and then kind of blended it in with the pale heath marker afterwards. For the little dots of highlights that I wanted to add to the eyes, nose and the lips, I used my usual Uni-Ball Signo Broad pigment ink white pen, and as a lot of you know, I really love adding highlights to drawings, so I made sure that they really showed up on this. For the colouring of his hair, I wanted to follow in the same highlighting process as I did for the face, leaving the left side completely highlighted. So I started by using the Cool Grey 3 to add the lightest shading first, and then just proceeded to add the Cool Grey 5 and then the Cool Grey 7 after that as well. And then after all of that I added the darkest shading with a black Copic marker over the top of all of it on the right side, just to make that side completely shaded and then contrasting the really highlighted left side. After that I continued to refine the details of the hair with all of the cool grey markers, and then afterwards added some highlights with the highlighter pen. I used the same colouring process for the skin tones on his neck, just made them a lot darker and kind of fading into blackness towards the bottom of the drawing. For the colouring of his jacket, I basically started off by adding some blocks of shading first with the cool grey markers. I think I used Cool Grey 3 for the lighter highlighted side, and then used Cool Grey 7 for the right side. And then I added some black Copic marker over the top of all that to fill in the shaded areas. And then after that, that's when I refined the details of the jacket. using a black and white Prismacolor pencil to add some details, along with the highlighter pen to add the zip to the jacket as well, and to add some little dots of highlights to the metal button. After that, for the final part of this drawing, I decided that I wanted to add some blue tones to the highlighted side of this drawing, just to add a bit of extra colour. For this, I used the ice blue marker to add some coloured streaks through his hair and to the left side of his jacket, and then to add some sharper lines over the top of that, I used the true blue Prismacolor pencil. Then that was the drawing completed, and I actually had a bunch of fun working on this one. It was really nice to work on another Final Fantasy character drawing. And be sure to let me know what you think of this drawing in the comments below. And if you have any more suggestions for future Fan Art Friday videos or any Fantasy Art Friday videos, then be sure to let me know in the comments below. I really love reading through your suggestions and they do really help me. If you enjoy videos like this, then make sure you're subscribed, and any likes, shares, that kind of support is always hugely appreciated by me. If you want to follow my progress photos and keep up to date with everything I'm working on, then be sure to check out the links in the description box below to check out my Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. And once again, thank you so much for the support on this channel. I can't wait to work on the next drawing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.